this is the first camp I can enjoy myself and be back. My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that mattered to me.
He's out there about the size and all of this stuff, but people forget that Tank's a top 10 pound for pound fighter, and he's got power in both hands. And skill-wise and technique-wise, he's been doing this for so long.
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweight.
The clash between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis is something no one saw coming. Two superstars from entirely different worlds stepping into one ring, each burning with the desire to prove they're the best. The anticipation is electrifying, and the world can't look away.
Night and day, right? You have to understand, I went from doing YouTube and Disney Channel to 5 years, once to twice a day, 6 to 7 days a week, training, recovery, taking it more serious than ever. I'm just a different specimen. My body is filled out. I'm going into my athletic prime, and going into that and my body filling out, I just feel amazing. It feels super strong.
Jake Paul has been shouting from the rooftops about his intense training camp for the Gervonta Davis fight. He insists he's brought serious firepower into his corner, bragging about dropping sparring partners, and even revealing that Shakur will be joining him this week to sharpen his game for the Tank showdown. Yet, in a rare moment of humility, Jake admits something unusual. He acknowledges that Tank is dangerous. Many critics dismiss Tank because of his smaller frame, claiming he's too undersized to stand toe-to-toe with Jake. But Jake silences that talk. He respects Tank's lethal power, knowing full well that every punch from him feels like getting hit by a speeding truck. When Jake admits fear of entering the ring, it's not weakness, and it's respect. It proves this fight isn't a gimmick. It's real, raw, and deadly serious.
Going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I think, Jake, you could make the argument, right? Pound for pound wise, this guy's the most ferocious dude in the whole sport, couldn't you?
For sure. I think he has probably one of the highest knockout percentages.
Yeah, 90-something%, right?
Exactly. And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning. He's gone 12 rounds so many different times, something that I've never even done. So he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on. And so just actually being vulnerable for a second, it's like, this is crazy. This is scary. It's kind of keeping me up at night.
Jake, how do you prepare for, like you said, a guy who is shorter than you? How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So Just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives, but we're really focusing on speed, and not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punches are coming off faster.
What most fans don't realize is the untold story behind Tank's journey. From day one, he's gone toe-to-toe not with ordinary fighters, but with seasoned heavyweights. Men who knew how to fight smart and hit hard. Showbiz the Adult, a respected analyst, revealed that Tank didn't just survive those brutal sessions. He dominated them. He punished bigger opponents, leaving no doubt about his toughness. So if Tank has already conquered heavyweights, a cruiserweight like Jake Paul won't intimidate him. Jake might be larger, but Tank's fought mountains before, and climbed everyone. The analyst emphasized that those heavyweights had more technical skill and experience than Jake does. Sure, Jake has evolved from influencer fame into a legitimate boxer, but he's still a student of the craft. Tank, on the other hand, has been testing himself against elite fighters since his teens. If he's handled bigger, stronger, and more skilled men than Jake, then Jake's size advantage might mean nothing. As Showbiz concluded, this isn't a mismatch for Tank. It's Jake who might be walking straight into danger.
Or bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, You know, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. I mean, he's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie Set Back. This story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Tank, what's the one boy name?
No, don't say a name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights. He might knock all the ass out now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Because I hit harder than Wilder.
Now, granted, the heavyweights that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, you know, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the heavyweight, the level of heavyweight that, you know, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their asses, and that's a good thing. I feel with Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, you know, just kind of letting them know. No, like, you know, we do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring, and that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. You know, I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank Davis.
Tank has made a firm decision about his career path. He's done cutting down to 135 pounds. The strain, the exhaustion, the sacrifices, he's leaving that behind. Now, he's embracing 140 pounds, where his body feels alive, his strength untamed. This move marks a new mindset, one ready for larger names and greater challenges, including Jake Paul. After this epic showdown, Tank plans to stay at super lightweight, believing this division will unlock his full potential. Fans may argue that the heavier weight favors Jake, but Tank sees it differently. Here, his endurance thrives and his punches carry an even more destructive force. He used to deliver spectacular knockouts at 135, now he's aiming for showstoppers. This new division might just turn Tank into a nightmare for anyone standing in front of him. And Jake Paul could be the first to witness this evolved, unstoppable version of Gervonta Tank Davis.
Or had been throwing fits a few weeks ago when Gervonta had announced that he would be fighting Jake Paul in, I believe it's coming up in just about a month, or a little bit less than a month, and that he would not be, at least immediately, he would not be rematching Lamont Roach. So people went all up in arms. Shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie, who even right now is claiming that Gervonta Davis is going to go try to fight in WWE or something like that when he gets done with Jake Paul. But the truth of the matter is that Gervonta Davis is coming back to boxing. He's always said that he's coming back to boxing. He said he's going to run off, get this bag real quick, and he'll be right back. Well, as you see, the 135-pound WBA, the WBA, where he holds his 135-pound championship, has not stripped him. They said that they were going to look into it if he had not rematched Lamont Roach, but nothing ever really came of that. So as of right now, he still has his 135-pound title, but I'm telling you, the way that things are panning out, I don't think he's going to go back down to the 135-pound division. I think he's going to go to the 140-pound division where really and truly all the smoke is there. Add to it the fact that when he fights Jake Paul, he's going to be fighting Jake Paul at a higher weight than he would necessarily be fighting guys at 135 pounds. You're probably not going to see him drain down for the fight. I don't think he's going to bulk up at all, but usually when guys play with their weight and they go up and allow themselves to fight at a higher weight or fight people at a higher weight classes.
Karmamel Moton has spoken his mind clearly. Tank holds the advantage, hands down. He explains that Tank's history of sparring with heavyweights makes Jake's size irrelevant. What truly matters, Carmamel says, is the gap in skill. While Jake continues to grow as a boxer, Tank has already mastered the art. He predicts not just a win, but a dominant performance from Tank. Having seen Tank grind daily behind the scenes, Carmamel's words carry weight. In his eyes, talent conquers size, and skill destroys brute strength. That's Tank's story, written in sweat and success.
Tank versus Jake Paul.
I feel like it's gonna be a good fight, entertaining. It's an exhibition, so we're gonna see how serious they really take it. But I don't know, they both getting a lot of money, so congrats to them.
What if you had it who has the edge in this fight?
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweights, and even me, I spar heavyweights, So the weight's not really too much, for a lot of great fighters, so I feel like Tank gonna get it for sure.
Do you think it kind of be an advantage because he's small and fast? Someone said that. I'm I didn't think about that actually.
Yeah, possibly. He gonna see a lot of Jake Paul's punches coming. He can be able to evade them and then set him up for a big counter.
Wait, but do you think this is gonna be different than the other Jake Paul fights we've seen, against Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez? I know a lot of people weren't the happiest with that, but I feel like Tank's gonna give him a different fight. Do you think so?
I think so. We'll see how he adapts because a lot of people think it's hard, for a small guy to be fighting a bigger guy, but it's also hard for a big guy to be fighting a smaller guy. It's a small target, they're very fast, so we'll have to see how he adapts to it.
Wait, and is Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson really happening?
Yeah, that's happening.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a date already, or what's going on?
I don't think there's a date yet, but it's definitely an official fight and it's happening.
So what do you got to say about that? What's going on?
It's gonna be a great show. Floyd's gonna do his thing. Hopefully I'm on the undercard so I can put on a great show as well.
No, really? You guys already talked about that?
Not yet, no, but we'll have to see. Yeah, for sure.
And are you gonna fight again this year? What's next with you, Carmel?
I don't know. At the moment, we haven't heard nothing. We're just waiting, staying patient, staying ready. But I should be back at least one more time before the end of the year.
That wraps up today's coverage. Stay tuned for what's next, because the storm is just beginning.